Hey friends, this is Michelle. Thank you for joining me on this quiet exploration, one that moves beyond gameplay into a gentle, sensory exploration of Hyrule's quiet corners. As someone who's loved Nintendo games my whole life, this new Switch 2 feels like a warm embrace, especially in this quieter chapter of my early 30s. Today, we're not here to conquer quests, but to sync our breath with the landscape, to notice the subtle textures of light and sound, and to find peace in slow, intentional movement. Let's settle in together and begin this meditative adventure where the journey itself becomes the destination. So, if you need a moment of calm, this is where we start. Let's just settle in together for a while. I thought we could just let this world drift by. A quiet backdrop for our thoughts. There's no need to rush anywhere or achieve anything. We can just breathe and watch the light change over the landscape. It feels like a soft blanket, this space. A place to let the mind wander without any pressure. Just a gentle invitation to be here, now, with the soft sounds and the expansive view. A quiet corner to share. I remember the first time I held a Nintendo Switch. It was the original model, and the box felt surprisingly small and light. Unboxing it felt like a quiet ritual. There was a tactile novelty to the hardware itself. The smooth screen, the click of the Joy-Con controllers sliding into place. It felt less like a powerful console and more like a personal, intimate device. Something meant for quiet moments. Loading up Breath of the Wild for the very first time, there was this specific kind of anticipation, not for action, but for atmosphere. And then, that first view from the Shrine of Resurrection, the Great Plateau stretching out forever under a soft, watercolor sky. It wasn't a call to adventure so much as an invitation to simply exist in that space. The portability of the Switch changed everything about how I played. It wasn't about dedicating hours in front of a television anymore. It became about stealing 5 minutes with a cup of tea in the morning, or winding down in bed at night. The console itself, its portability, reinforced a slower, more gentle approach to gaming. It became a companion for quiet times, a little window into a calmer world that I could carry with me. Holding it felt like holding a quiet secret. That initial experience set the tone for everything that followed. It taught me that the journey could be the destination, that the act of moving slowly through a beautiful space was a reward in itself. The hardware and the game felt perfectly matched in that intention, both designed for moments of personal, peaceful exploration. It was less about conquering a world and more about appreciating it, which feels like a rare and valuable perspective to find. That first moment on the plateau, with the wind gently blowing and the sun warm, established a feeling I've been returning to ever since. A feeling of infinite, gentle possibility. That feeling of infinite possibility, that gentle expanse, always reminds me of the Northern California coast. There's a specific quality to the light there, a soft haze that hangs over the ocean, that feels so similar to the way light filters through Hyrule's sky. The color palette is so familiar. The muted blues and grays of the water, the soft greens of the cliffs, the way everything feels washed in a gentle, watery light. It's a landscape that encourages you to just look, to just breathe it in, without any need to do anything more. I have this memory from childhood of being at a beach near Stinson Beach with my family. The fog was rolling in, and the world felt quiet and small. Just the sound of the waves and the cry of gulls. I remember sitting on a cold log, watching the endless horizon, and feeling that same sense of peaceful smallness that the Great Plateau gives me. It's not a feeling of insignificance, but rather a comforting one. A sense that the world is vast and beautiful, and you are just a small, quiet part of it. There's a profound safety in that. The soundscape is what connects them most deeply for me. In the game, when you're standing on a cliffside, you hear the wind. It's a constant, gentle presence, rustling the grass, whispering through the trees. On the coast, it's the sound of the waves, a rhythmic, breathing sound that has the same effect. It's a sound that washes over you, that slows your heart rate, that tells your nervous system it's okay to relax. Both places use their ambient sounds to create a container for stillness. Hyrule's landscapes, especially the areas near the sea in the Hateno region, capture that specific blend of wildness and serenity. It's not a manicured beauty, it's a bit untamed, with rocky outcrops and strong winds, but it's never threatening. It feels alive and ancient, just like the Pacific coastline. The game's artists understood how to evoke that emotional response, how to make a digital space feel as spiritually expansive as a real one. They both feel like places where you can go to remember who you are when you're not busy trying to be anything for anyone else. A place where the only task is to exist, to watch, and to listen. And when I find myself in a space like that, either here in this world or there on that coast, the first thing I notice is my own breathing. It's a quiet check-in, a way to synchronize with the calmness of the environment. I find that a simple square breathing technique works well. Just breathing in for a count of 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4, and holding again for 4. It's a rhythm, a gentle pulse that matches the slow turning of the world. It feels good to give ourselves permission to simply watch and listen, to release the need to be constantly achieving something, even in a game. There's a deep value in just being a quiet observer, in letting the day's cycle shift from golden hour to dusk to a sky full of stars, all without feeling the need to rush toward the next objective. The world continues to turn at its own gentle pace, and for a little while, we can choose to move with it, not against it. This kind of passive participation is its own form of meditation. It's an active decision to be still, to let the landscape breathe for us until we remember how to do it for ourselves. The rhythm of the game becomes a guide back to our own natural state of calm. That gentle guidance back to calm is woven right into the very fabric of this world, into its art style. The watercolor aesthetic of Breath of the Wild isn't just a visual choice, it's an emotional one. It feels like a deliberate step away from sharpness, from the hyper-realistic textures that can sometimes feel overwhelming or demanding. Everything here has soft edges. The mountains in the distance bleed into the sky. The colors are muted and blend into one another. And there's a gentle haze that hangs over everything, softening the light. It feels less like you're looking at a screen and more like you're looking at a memory or a beautiful dream you're having on a quiet afternoon. This softness directly minimizes any sense of stress or urgency. When a landscape is painted in such gentle strokes, it doesn't feel like a place you need to conquer or dominate. It feels like a place you're meant to wander through, to appreciate. There are no harsh lines shouting for your attention. Compare it to some of the earlier Zelda games, which had a much more defined, almost cartoonish clarity. They were wonderful in their own right, but they felt more like storybooks. This feels like an impressionist painting you can step inside. It invites contemplation rather than action. That feeling of a softened reality, of a world that feels more like a memory, became a real sanctuary for me at a specific time in my life. It was during a period when I was spending a lot of afternoons at my cousin's house after grammar school. Their home was going through a difficult transition, a quiet sort of upheaval as their parents were navigating a divorce. The air in the house was often thick with a tension that we were too young to fully understand, but could feel deeply. A kind of unspoken sadness that lingered in the rooms. And so, this world, Hyrule, became our shared safe space. It was a place we could escape to together. A vast, quiet landscape where the only sounds were the wind and our own soft conversation. We'd sit on the floor in their bedroom, taking turns with the controller. But it was never really about whose turn it was. It was about the shared experience of moving through this peaceful place. We weren't focused on beating the game or defeating monsters. We were focused on the simple act of exploration. We'd point out little details to each other. A funny-looking tree, a beautiful sunset, a Korok puzzle we'd stumble upon. It was a quiet collaboration, a way of building something positive together when the world outside that room felt fragile. There was a quiet understanding between us during those afternoons. We didn't need to talk about what was happening at home. The game gave us a neutral ground, a common language that was about discovery and beauty instead of loss and confusion. I think we both felt a sense of stability in the game's consistency. No matter what was happening outside, the sun would always rise over the dueling peaks. The stable masters were always friendly. The world was always there, unchanging and welcoming. In a time of immense change, that constancy was a profound comfort. Our progress in the game became a quiet metaphor for getting through each day. We weren't making grand leaps, but we were moving forward, little by little, discovering new, gentle corners of the map, and that felt like enough. It felt like an accomplishment just to be there together, in that quiet bubble, finding moments of peace. Let's just take a quiet moment here, wherever you are. I find it's a good time to just gently check in with the body. I'm going to do a little shoulder roll, just lifting them up toward my ears on an inhale, and then letting them drop all the way down on an exhale, releasing any tension that might have gathered there without my even noticing. It's a small, almost imperceptible movement, but it makes such a difference. A little physical sigh. And if you're lying down or sitting, feel free to adjust your position to find a little more comfort. There's no need to stay perfectly still if it isn't comfortable. This is your time, and the only goal is a sense of ease. If you feel yourself starting to drift off, that's more than okay. That's a sign you're allowing yourself to truly let go. This is a space where stillness is welcomed, where taking this time for quiet isn't a luxury, but a gentle necessity. A small affirmation for the space we're creating together. It is more than enough to simply be here, breathing, in this peaceful moment. There is nothing else you need to be doing. The way the weather moves through this world feels so different from other games. It doesn't feel like a punishment or an obstacle to be overcome, but more like a shift in mood, a change in the atmosphere that simply asks you to adjust your pace. A rainstorm doesn't mean you failed. It means the world is inviting you to find a different rhythm for a little while, to wait under the eaves of a stable, or to simply stand and watch the way the raindrops bead on the screen. The sound design in these moments is so beautifully understated. A thunderstorm isn't just loud booms and cracks. It's the gentle rumble in the distance first, a low growl that rolls across the hills, followed by the soft, persistent patter of rain on leaves and stone. It's a full, immersive sound that wraps around you. It reminds me of real weather, of course, of sitting on a porch as a child, watching a summer storm roll in, feeling that specific charge in the air before the first drop falls. There's a cozy safety in that memory, a feeling of being protected while witnessing something powerful. The game captures that exact feeling. You're not battling the storm, you're witnessing it. You might be a little colder, a little wetter, but you're still safe within the experience. The weather becomes a character, changing the color palette of the world, washing everything in muted grays and deep blues, making the greens of the trees feel more vibrant against the gloom. It forces a kind of quiet introspection. You can't climb a cliff in the rain, so your options become simpler, slower. You walk. You find a cave. You cook a meal. The weather systems gently remove the pressure of constant progress and replace it with an invitation to be present with the world's changing state. It's a reminder that not every moment is meant for striving. Some are meant for waiting, for listening, for appreciating the different kinds of beauty that each condition brings. A sunny day is bright and full of possibility, but a rainy day turns the world inward, soft and reflective, offering a different, quieter kind of peace. It's all just part of the cycle, and there's a comfort in knowing that the sun will always break through the clouds again, just as it always does after a real storm, leaving the air feeling clean and new. That invitation to slow down, to simply be present with the world's changing moods, extends to the smallest of activities here. There's a quiet philosophy in the act of gathering, collecting mushrooms, picking apples from a tree, catching restless crickets in the tall grass. There's no urgency to it, no ticking clock demanding you fill a quota. It's a gentle, repetitive action that becomes a form of meditation. Your focus narrows to just the task at hand, spotting the bright blue of a swift violet against the green, hearing the faint chirp that gives away a sunset firefly. The rest of the world, with all its larger concerns, just softly fades into the background for a little while. I find that these small, mundane tasks have a powerful grounding effect. In a life that often feels like a constant rush from one big responsibility to the next, there's a profound comfort in a task that is simple, achievable, and has a clear, satisfying conclusion. You see an apple, you pick it, it's in your inventory. That's it. There's a quiet completeness to it. It's a small anchor point in time, a moment where you can't really be anywhere else but right here, doing this one simple thing. It pulls you out of your head and into your senses, the visual search, the sound of the pick, the the tactile feedback from the controller. This becomes its own kind of meditation. The rhythm of it. Walk a few steps, spot something, gather it, repeat. It's a loop that allows the mind to wander freely or to settle into a peaceful blankness. It's the opposite of the completionist mindset that can sometimes turn a game into a stressful checklist. Here, there's no pressure to find every last ingredient or Korok seed. The joy isn't in finishing the collection, it's in the gentle process of gathering itself. It's about the journey through the orchard, not the final count of apples in your bag. Letting go of that need to achieve, to complete, to master, opens up a different kind of experience. It becomes less about conquering the world and more about appreciating it, piece by quiet piece. It teaches you that productivity doesn't always have to look like grand accomplishments. Sometimes, it can look like a quiet walk through a forest, your pockets slowly filling with little treasures, your mind slowly emptying of its clutter. It's a gentle reminder that our worth isn't tied to our output, but can also be found in these small, quiet moments of simple, attentive presence. Let's take that feeling of simple presence and just breathe with it for a moment. Wherever you are, just allow your gaze to soften on the screen, taking in the colors and the shapes without focusing on any one thing. Let's take a deep, slow breath in together, filling the lungs, and as you exhale, imagine you're releasing that breath out over this entire landscape, a gentle sigh that mingles with the wind. There's no need to achieve a deeper state of relaxation or to force anything to happen. The goal is just to be here, to release, even for just these few seconds, the ingrained need to be productive, to be doing something worthwhile. This moment, right now, is enough. You, exactly as you are in this quiet space, are enough. There is nothing to fix, nothing to improve. This is a pocket of time carved out just for stillness. And your only task is to accept the invitation to rest within it. If your eyes want to close, let them close. The sounds are enough to guide you. This piece is yours to simply hold, without any conditions. It's interesting how places, both real and virtual, can become such powerful triggers for personal memories. They act like anchors, tying a specific feeling or a period of our lives to a particular arrangement of light, sound, and space. Hyrule, for me, has become a kind of memory palace, but not in the traditional sense of a mnemonic device. It's more of an emotional archive. A certain hillside at sunset doesn't just remind me of a quest I completed. It brings back the feeling of a specific afternoon, the quality of the light in the room, the quiet mood I was in. The landscape becomes a repository for my own history, each location holding a little piece of a past version of myself. This is one of the beautiful, quiet powers of games like this. They have this unique ability to preserve moments in time with an incredible vividness. A photograph captures a visual, a song captures a sound, but a game world can capture an entire atmosphere, a feeling of being in a place and a state of mind. I can return to the shores of Lurelin Village and immediately be transported back to the first time I discovered it. The surprise of finding such a peaceful, tropical cove hidden away. The memory isn't just a visual snapshot, it's the feeling of warm virtual sand, the sound of the gentle waves, and the specific sense of calm I felt that day. The game world becomes a time capsule for our own emotional states, And I think that's a big part of why we return to these virtual places long after we've seen everything there is to see. We're not just revisiting the game, we're revisiting the person we were when we first played it. We're touching base with those past moments of peace, or wonder, or even sadness that we experience within its borders. A familiar path through a forest isn't just a path, it's a trail through our own memories. The act of playing becomes a gentle form of time travel, allowing us to reconnect with feelings that might otherwise feel distant or lost. The world remains constant, a stable backdrop against which we can measure our own growth and change. It's a comforting paradox, a digital space that feels timeless, yet is so deeply intertwined with our personal passing time. It offers a unique kind of solace, the reassurance that certain feelings of peace and safety are always accessible, just a button press away, waiting for us in the quiet corners of a world that remembers us as fondly as we remember it. Let's just gently check in with our bodies again. It's so easy, especially when we're trying to relax, to unconsciously hold tension in places we don't even think about. I'm going to take a quiet moment to just uncross my legs if they're crossed, allowing the feet to rest flat on the floor if you're sitting, or just to let the legs lie in a natural, comfortable position if you're lying down. It's a small adjustment, but it can make a world of difference in allowing the body to fully release its weight. And then, let's bring a soft awareness to the jaw. Is it clenched, even slightly? Just let it go slack. Allow a tiny bit of space to appear between the top and bottom teeth. And the muscles around the eyes and the forehead, see if you can soften them, as if you're trying to feel the gentle air on your skin. There's no need to force anything, just a gentle invitation to let go. This is your time, and your comfort is the only priority. If you feel your eyes getting heavy, if you feel the pull towards sleep, please know that it's completely okay to close them. You don't have to keep watching. The sound of this quiet world and this gentle conversation will still be here with you. This is a space where you are allowed to drift, to rest deeply. The goal isn't to stay alert. The goal is to find ease. So give yourself full permission to settle into whatever position feels most supportive. To release any lingering tightness in the shoulders, the jaw, the face. Let the body feel heavy and supported, whether by a chair or a bed. And just for these next few minutes, let the external world fade away. There is nothing you need to hold on to here. No posture you need to maintain. This is a reset, a gentle returning to a state of natural, effortless comfort. Riding a horse here feels fundamentally different from just walking. Your perspective shifts. You're higher up, seeing more of the world stretched out before you. But more importantly, you're sharing the journey with another living creature. There's a silent understanding between you. You guide with a gentle nudge of the reins, and the horse responds, choosing the path, navigating the terrain with a grace you couldn't manage on your own. It's a partnership. And the best part is riding without a specific destination. Just picking a direction and going. letting the landscape dictate the pace. There's no urgency. The horse will occasionally whinny softly or shake its mane, small reminders of the living presence you're traveling with. This companionship, though digital, touches on a very real human need for connection that doesn't require conversation. It's a side-by-side existence, a shared experience of moving through a beautiful space. In a way, it mirrors the quiet comfort of sitting with a good friend where words aren't necessary. The presence itself is enough. The rhythmic clop of hooves becomes a meditation, a steady pulse that syncs with your heartbeat, slowing everything down. It's a reminder that connection can be simple and quiet, built on mutual trust and the shared appreciation of a peaceful journey. It's not about where you're going, but the fact that you're not going there alone. There's a deep, almost primal comfort that comes from being near water, and this world understands that so intuitively. The lakes and rivers act as perfect reflective surfaces, not just for the sky and the mountains, but for our own state of mind. They invite a kind of quiet contemplation, just watching the way the light dances on the surface, the gentle, hypnotic ripple of the waves can slow your thoughts to a crawl. It's why the psychology of blue spaces is so powerful. Being near water has a measurable calming effect on our brains, lowering stress and encouraging a more meditative, open state of awareness. This world captures that feeling perfectly. An activity like fishing here becomes a form of passive meditation. It's not about the frantic action of reeling in a catch. It's about the waiting. It's the act of standing quietly at the water's edge, the line cast out into the unknown, and then just being still. Your focus narrows to the small circle of the bobber, the subtle movements on the surface of the water. The rest of the world, with all its demands and complexities, just softly fades away. There's a gentle rhythm to it, a cycle of casting and waiting that requires patience and presence. It's an activity with no urgency, where the reward is almost secondary to the peaceful process itself. And then there are the sounds. The sound of water is one of the most effective sounds for relaxation. The soft lapping of waves on a shore, the gentle bubbling of a stream, the distant roar of a waterfall. These are often called pink noise. They have a soothing, consistent quality that can help mask more jarring noises and encourage our brainwaves to slow down. It's a sound that feels like a blanket for the mind. I find myself sometimes just finding a spot by a river and putting the controller down. Not to do anything, but just to listen. To let that gentle, aqueous soundtrack wash over me, both through the game's audio and the lo-fi music we've layered over it. It creates a double layer of calm, a sonic environment designed for letting go. The water doesn't ask anything of you. It simply flows and persists and reflects the sky, offering a timeless, peaceful constant in a world that can often feel too fast. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound peace is found not in action, but in stillness, in simply observing the gentle, enduring movement of the world around you. The feeling of shelter, of a space designed for rest, is woven into the very architecture of this world. The stables, in particular, feel like such cozy sanctuaries. Their design is simple and functional, with a gentle, sloping roof and warm, wooden beams. They are always open-sided, inviting the breeze and the sounds of the world in. Yet the overhanging roof creates a clear sense of protection, a defined space that is safe from the rain and the harsh sun. There's always a cooking pot simmering, a soft glow from the lanterns, and a few other travelers resting quietly. It's a space that feels lived in and welcoming, a gentle pause in the middle of the vast wilderness. It's a reminder of the fundamental human need for a hearth, for a central point to return to. Buildings in this world aren't just structures, they're containers for specific feelings. A small cabin tucked away in the woods feels different from a house in a bustling village like Hateno. Yet both offer their own kind of safety. The cabin offers solitude and quiet, a retreat from the world. The village house offers community and the gentle hum of nearby life, the comfort of knowing you're not alone. The architecture creates this feeling of shelter, of an inside versus an outside, and that simple distinction is profoundly comforting. The walls and roofs create a boundary that says, here, you are safe. Here, you can rest. This contrast between the wild, open spaces and these pockets of human-made safety is so important to the overall feeling. The wilderness offers freedom and expansiveness, but it can also feel vast and untamed. The towns and stables offer a different kind of peace, the peace of containment, of order, of a space that has been intentionally crafted for comfort. The hearth, whether it's the central fire of a stable or the cooking pot outside your own house, acts as the heart of that space. It's a source of warmth and light, a place of gathering and nourishment. It's a primal symbol of home, and its presence, even in these simple digital forms, taps into a deep-seated sense of security. It tells you that no matter how far you roam, there is always a place to come back to, a place where you can simply be, without any demands or dangers. The world outside might be beautiful and wild, but these architectural spaces offer the complementary comfort of belonging, of having a small, quiet corner of the world that is truly your own. Let's sync our breath with the gentle rhythm of this world for a moment. I find a simple square breathing exercise fits perfectly here. It's a gentle, four-sided pattern that's easy to follow. We'll breathe in slowly for a count of 4. Hold the breath gently for a count of 4. Breathe out smoothly for a count of 4. And then hold the lungs empty, comfortably, for a count of 4. And then we just begin the cycle again. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. As you do this, just let your gaze rest softly on the screen. Notice the gentle movement, perhaps the leaves on a tree rustling in a virtual breeze. Let your breath sync with that natural, unhurried pace. There's no need to force it or control it perfectly. The numbers are just a gentle guide. With each exhale, see if you can imagine releasing a little more of the day's accumulated tension. Maybe it's a bit of stress you're carrying in your shoulders, or a lingering thought that's been circling in your mind. Just picture it softening and dissolving away with the out-breath. This is a small pocket of time that belongs entirely to you, a chance to reset your nervous system, to gently tell your body that in this moment, there's no emergency, nothing to fight or flee from. You are safe, you are still, and you are simply breathing. This quiet rhythm, in and out, is enough. It's a gentle anchor, pulling you back from the noise and into the deep, quiet peace of the present. Just continue this pattern for as long as it feels comfortable, letting the simple, repetitive cycle calm the mind and soothe the body. Then life gets busier, doesn't it? Responsibilities pile up, and the long, uninterrupted afternoons become a rare luxury. Gaming habits shift to fit into the smaller pockets of time. But this game, more than any other I've played, seemed to adapt with me. It didn't demand those long sessions. It was perfectly content with a 20-minute visit. I could just open it up, ride my horse along a familiar path, cook a few meals, and feel that same sense of peace, just in a more concentrated dose. It became less about exploration and more about returning. It was a touchstone, a place I knew I could go to find a specific feeling of calm, no matter how chaotic the day had been. It was a season of seeking refuge. And now, in this current season, where a feeling of being single and a little bit lonely can sometimes color the edges of the day, the world offers a different kind of companionship. The vast, open spaces that once felt full of possibility can, on another day, feel a little empty. But the game has a way of reframing that emptiness. It doesn't feel like a lack, but like a peaceful solitude. The quiet companionship of the landscape itself becomes enough. The gentle slope of a hill, the predictable path of the sun, the way the stars appear one by one at dusk. These are constants. They are there, whether you are laughing with friends or sitting quietly by yourself. They don't change. In a life that can feel so transient, where people come and go and circumstances shift, there's a profound comfort in returning to a world that is exactly as you left it. It's a gentle reminder that some forms of peace are internal and can be found even in the quietest of moments. This is the gift that these timeless worlds give us. They allow for growth and change within ourselves while providing a stable, unchanging backdrop against which to measure it. We are not the same person we were when we first stepped onto the Great Plateau. And yet, the plateau is still there, waiting, unchanged. It's a paradox that offers a strange kind of solace. We can go back and touch the memory of who we were, while simultaneously appreciating the perspective of who we have become. The game becomes a diary written not in words, but in landscapes and feelings. This hill is where I felt overwhelmed by beauty. This forest is where I felt a deep calm during a difficult week. The world holds these memories for us, gently and without judgment. Growth and consistency aren't opposites here. They exist in a gentle balance. We grow and change, while the world remains a constant, peaceful companion. It doesn't ask us to be any particular version of ourselves. It welcomes the curious explorer, the busy professional seeking a moment of quiet, and the person simply looking for a beautiful space to not feel so alone. All are welcome. All seasons of life have a place here, and that might be its most comforting feature of all. It's a world that understands that peace isn't a destination you arrive at, but a quality you carry with you. And sometimes you just need a familiar, gentle space to help you remember how to find it again. And when the sun dips below the horizon, the light doesn't just vanish. It's replaced by the warm, flickering glow of lanterns in the villages. These small points of light create pockets of safety and intimacy in the growing dark. They don't blaze with intensity. They shimmer softly, casting long, dancing shadows and illuminating just enough of the path ahead. They guide you without any urgency, suggesting a direction rather than commanding it. It's an invitation to come closer, to find warmth and community. The light here feels like a comfort, not just a utility. It's the difference between a sterile, overhead fluorescent bulb and the soft, welcoming light of a candle on a table. This gentle guidance extends to the more magical parts of the world too. In certain areas, you'll find a soft, ethereal bioluminescence, a light that seems to emanate from the plants and the very air itself. It's a light that doesn't cast sharp shadows, but instead creates a gentle, all-encompassing glow. It transforms the environment into something dreamlike and serene. This kind of light feels like it's meant for wonder, for pausing and simply absorbing the beauty of a moment. It doesn't help you see farther or clearer. It asks you to see differently, to appreciate the atmosphere and the mood. All these different qualities of light work together to create a world that feels fundamentally safe and soothing. The light is never aggressive or jarring. It's a soft companion that marks the passage of time, guides you home, and occasionally shows you something truly magical, reminding you that even in the dark, there is always a soft glow to be found, a gentle comfort waiting just around the corner. This is the quiet joy of the unintended path. It's the decision to climb the small, unremarkable hill instead of following the main road, just to see what the view is like from there. Often, the view isn't dramatically different, but the act of taking that particular path makes it yours. You're not following a guide or a set of instructions. You're creating your own personal narrative within this vast space. You're writing a story with your footsteps, a story that is unique to your choices and your pace. The game becomes less about seeing everything there is to see, and more about seeing what you happen to find. It's a shift from a mindset of consumption to one of discovery. And the most beautiful part is letting that discovery happen organically, without force. It's the opposite of checking items off a list. It's a gentle, open-ended exploration where the goal is simply to be present and attentive. You're not searching for anything in particular, which is why finding something feels like such a gift. It feels earned, not because you grinded for it, but because you were patient and observant enough to notice it. It teaches a different way of engaging with the world, both inside the screen and out. It reminds us that wonder isn't something that only exists in grand, dramatic events. More often, it's waiting for us in the quiet corners, in the overlooked details, in the gentle willingness to be surprised by something small and beautiful. It's the understanding that a journey isn't defined by its destination, but by the quality of attention you bring to each step along the way. Let's take that quality of gentle attention and turn it inward for a few moments. We've been exploring this vast external world, so let's now explore the internal landscape of our own bodies. We're going to do a very slow, very gentle full body scan. There's no need to change anything or fix anything. We're just bringing a soft, curious awareness to each part, inviting it to relax. Start by bringing your awareness to the very top of your head. Just notice any sensation there, without judgment. And then, on a slow exhale, imagine that sensation softening and any subtle tension there just melting away like warm sunlight. Let that feeling of release gently travel down to your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks, and your jaw. Allow the jaw to go completely slack, a tiny space between the teeth. Let the tongue rest comfortably. Feel the weight of your head being fully supported. Now, let that wave of softening awareness drift down into your neck and shoulders. These are places that carry so much of our daily tension. Just notice the feeling of your shoulders. And with another gentle breath out, imagine them releasing, sinking down, letting go of any need to hold themselves up. Feel that release travel down your arms, through your elbows, to your wrists, and all the way out to the tips of your fingers. Your hands can feel heavy and soft. Now, bring your awareness to your chest and your stomach. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath there. Notice if you're holding any tightness in your core, any bracing, and just let it go. Allow your torso to feel soft and open. Let that feeling travel down into your hips, your thighs, your knees, a gentle release of weight. Finally, down to your calves, your ankles, your feet, and all the way to the tips of your toes. Feel the entire weight of your body being fully supported by the chair or the bed beneath you. You are being held. There is nothing for your muscles to do but release. Your body has been working hard all day, carrying you through your life. This is its time to rest. With this full awareness of your body in a state of deep release, give yourself full permission to sink even deeper into this relaxation. If sleep is gently pulling at the edges of your consciousness, it's more than okay to follow it. This is a safe space for deep rest. There is nothing you need to hold on to. Just the gentle rhythm of your breath, the soft sounds, and the feeling of being completely and utterly supported, weightless, and at peace. For me, Breath of the Wild feels like such an eternal spring. Spring is the season of potential, of gentle beginnings, where everything feels fresh and full of promise, but without the intense heat and pressure of summer. It's a season that invites you to wander, to notice the small new buds, to appreciate the mild weather. This game captures that exact feeling. It's not about a final, fiery conclusion or a barren winter. It's about the open-ended, peaceful joy of the journey itself. It preserves that feeling of gentle potential, making it available to us whenever we need it. In a life that is constantly reminding us of endings and limitations, this timeless world offers a quiet, enduring reminder of beginnings, of beauty, and of the simple, profound peace that can be found when we step out of the rush and into a moment that is allowed to last forever. even without the ability to physically feel this world. The design does such a beautiful job of suggesting texture, of inviting our imagination to fill in the sensory details. You can almost feel the crunch of dry grass underfoot in the arid fields of Hyrule Ridge. A brittle, sun-baked sensation. Contrast that with the soft, spongy give of the soil in the rainforests of Faran, damp and rich with decay. The game conveys this through sound, of course, the different sounds of footsteps, but also through the visual language. The way light reflects off a smooth, wet stone after a rain shower feels different from how it glances off the rough, porous surface of a mountain cliff. It's a world built from a palette of imagined tactile experiences. This connection to texture is deeply tied to comfort. Think of the coziest sensations you know. The weight and softness of a heavy blanket. The smooth, warm surface of a mug of tea. The rough grain of a wooden table. These textures are grounding. They pull us into our bodies and into the present moment. This world, in its own way, offers digital equivalents. The visual suggestion of a soft, moss-covered log to sit on, or the warm glow of a wooden stable, taps into those same comforting associations. It's a reminder of the deep, often overlooked comfort we find in the physical world. The way different materials can make us feel safe, calm, or invigorated. These tactile memories are powerful anchors. The feeling of cool grass on bare feet in the summer. The rough bark of a tree you climbed as a child. The smooth, worn surface of a favorite stone kept in a pocket. These are sensations that get stored in our bodies, not just our minds. This game, by so vividly suggesting these textures, can act as a trigger for those memories. Watching Link walk through a field of flowers might bring back the feeling of a specific afternoon from long ago, a sense memory of warmth and peace. It connects the digital experience to our own physical history, blurring the line between the virtual and the real in the most gentle, comforting way. It's not about escaping our bodies, but about using this digital space to remember the simple, physical joys of being alive, of having a body that can feel sun and wind in the solid ground beneath it. There's a beautiful parallel between the way we fill in the map of this world and the way we come to understand our own internal landscape. When you first step out onto the Great Plateau, the map is a sea of gray, an expanse of pure potential marked only by the single, towering icon of the Temple of Time. It can feel daunting, that much unknown. But then you begin to walk. Each step reveals a little more of the topography, and each new tower you activate pulls back the curtain on a vast new region. The gray gives way to color, to defined rivers and mountains and forests. It's a process of making the unknown known, not all at once, but gradually, gently. And I think our minds work in a similar way. We all have our own blank areas, places of uncertainty or fear or simple lack of experience. The journey of life is about slowly illuminating those spaces, not through force, but through gentle exploration. Each new experience, each quiet moment of reflection, is like activating a tower in your own consciousness. It doesn't erase the vastness of what you don't know, but it makes the known territory feel safer, more familiar. The blank areas on the map stop being frightening voids and start to feel like possibilities. They are places you haven't visited yet, not places you are forbidden from going. That's the comfort of the known territories, whether on the map or in our own lives. Returning to a place like Hateno Village or a favorite stable isn't about a lack of adventure. It's about touching base with a feeling of safety and familiarity. It's a reminder that amidst all the exploration and the unknown, there are constants. There are places where you know what to expect, where you feel a sense of belonging. These anchor points are essential. They give us the confidence to venture back out into the gray areas, knowing we have a home base to return to. The map becomes a record of our journey, a visual representation of where we've been and what we've overcome. Ultimately, the exploration of this external world is so compelling because it mirrors the most important exploration of all, the internal one. Every path we take across Hyrule's fields is also a path through our own thoughts and feelings. The courage it takes to climb a treacherous mountain in the game can echo the courage we summon to face a challenge in our daily lives. The peace we find sitting by a quiet lake can be the same peace we learn to cultivate within ourselves. The map fills in, both on the screen and in the heart, not as a task to be completed, but as a lifelong, gentle process of becoming more familiar with the vast, beautiful, and sometimes mysterious landscape of our own existence. It's a reminder that every journey outward is, in its quietest essence, a journey inward. You're stepping into a specific mood, a pre-designed atmosphere of peace, wonder, or gentle melancholy. It's a reminder that our surroundings, their light and their color, are not neutral. They are active participants in how we feel. And this world has been meticulously crafted to be a participant that always, ultimately, guides you toward a sense of peace. Let's take one last moment together to sync our breath, to release anything we might still be holding on to. This doesn't need to be a complicated exercise. It's just a gentle return to the anchor of your breath. Find a comfortable position and just notice the natural rhythm of your inhale and exhale. Don't try to change it or control it. Just observe it for a few cycles. The way you might watch the gentle movement of clouds in the sky. Now, as you breathe in, imagine drawing in a sense of deep, quiet calm from the world on the screen. And as you breathe out, imagine releasing any final bits of tension, any lingering thoughts or worries from the day. Just let them go with the exhale. You can visualize them as leaves floating down a quiet stream, carried away from you. In, calm. Out, release. In, peace. Out, surrender. This is our final check-in, a gentle preparation for the conclusion of our quiet time together. With each exhale, feel your body becoming a little heavier, a little more relaxed, sinking deeper into the support beneath you. Your mind can grow quieter, your heartbeat can slow. There is nothing you need to do right now except breathe. This simple, life-sustaining rhythm is enough. It's a quiet pulse of peace that is always available to you. A tool you can carry with you long after the session ends. So let's just rest here for these last few moments, in the simple, gentle awareness of breath. In and out. Release and rest. Thank you for sharing this quiet time with me. There's a certain courage in slowing down, in a world that so often values speed and constant motion. It takes a conscious choice to prioritize stillness, to say, for this hour, for this moment, I am going to simply be. And you made that choice. You allowed yourself this space to unwind, to let the gentle sounds and the soft visuals wash over you, to release the weight of the day. That is not a small thing. It is a profound act of self-care, and I'm truly grateful that you chose to spend this part of your journey here, in this peaceful corner of Hyrule. This gift of presence, of being fully in a moment, without needing to be anywhere else or do anything else, is becoming increasingly rare. Our attention is pulled in so many directions, our time fragmented into smaller and smaller pieces. To reclaim a solid block of time for pure, undiluted peace is a rebellious and beautiful act. It's a declaration that your well-being matters, that your inner calm is a priority. By giving yourself this permission, you are not just resting your body, you are replenishing your spirit. You are creating a reservoir of peace that you can draw from when things get loud again. This time is an investment in your own resilience, and I have so much respect for you for making it. As our quiet journey together draws to a close, I want you to carry this feeling with you, not as a memory you have to grasp tightly, but as a soft warmth in your chest, a gentle reminder that this state of peace is always accessible to you. It lives in your breath. It lives in your ability to notice a patch of sunlight on the floor or the sound of the wind outside your window. You have practiced that skill here tonight. You have strengthened your capacity for stillness. So as you gradually return to your surroundings, know that you can take this quiet with you. It is now a part of your internal landscape, a peaceful corner within yourself that you can always return to, anytime you need a moment to just breathe and be. Thank you for your presence and for the courage it takes to be still. So as this quiet time comes to a gentle end, I hope you can carry a little piece of this peace forward with you. It doesn't have to be a grand feeling, just a